Hello everyone, this is my environmental social impact assessment for photovoltaic power plants Sainshand, Mongolia. The date of project is on September 13, 2016, and the project place is in Mongolia. The executive company is Desert Solar Power, which is one of the first project companies for large-scale solar PV development in Mongolia, and the United Green Group and the German family office two chairs. The financing bank is European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The key policy-making government is the state if Curls, which is formulate states policies on energies in Mongolia. Ministry of Energy, which is in charge of the development of policy, in which including the development of energy resources, energy use, import and export of energy, construction of power plants, transmission lines, energy conservation, use of renewable resources, regulating and international cooperation. It takes a key role in shaping a green development strategies to suit Mongolia. And the energy regulatory commissions, which is in charge of issuing license, approving ta- tariffs, and protecting the rights of consumers and license. And the National Dispatching Center, which is responsible for coordinating the AD system operation of all power and heat sector entities, which including real-time coordination of power plant operation, transmission and distribution switching operations, and operation of the heat transmission network in coordination with combined heat and power operation. As for the project's background, the government of Mongolia promotes electric power generations from renewable energy to further increase its domestic total power generation capacity. Today, the main part of energy in Mongolia is produced by coal-fired plants. These plants cause significant short-term and long-term environmental damages. For example, in Anabarita, the particulate matter pollution during winter is over 20 times as high as valid international values. Economic growth and the boom in the mining sector are leading to a higher energy demand for the whole country. Furthermore, especially during peak demand, expensive electricities has to be imported from Russia. Therefore, the existing energy generating situation needs to be reinforced with new climate-friendly power plants like PV power plants in order to ensure the availability of energy and to avoid brownouts or blackouts. Mongolia has tremendous renewable energy resources valuable, in particular the energy of sun. Mongolia has very convenient climate conditions for effective use of these resources. Due to PV plants, Mongolia is able to reduce the energy import expense from Russia significantly. This has been the political target on Mongolia Ministry of Energy to make Mongolia energy self-sufficient and plans to expand energy production further to eventually become an energy exporter. As an option to tackle the increasing energy demand and also to foster a clean energy development. The government of Mongolia enacted a national resources energy program and launched the renewable energy law in 2007 with a target to increase the renewable energy share to 20 to 25% by 2020. So as for the accessibility and transportation, Mongolia has an emerging infrastructure for accessibility of Mongolia from abroad, which is required to transport equipment like inverters and models. The railroad can be used. In fact, there is a railroad connecting Mongolia with China, offers an ideal opportunity to transport all relevant components of the PV power plant. After reaching rail station, the equipment should be loaded onto trucks, respectively heavy-duty trucks. Generally, the accessibility to the specific seat must be guaranteed for the heaviest equipment. For photovoltaic installations with such equipment is normally the transformers. This transformer requires a crane for uploading on the seat. The model will be transported in containers, whereby approximate 27,020 feet containers for 30 photovoltaic models will be required. As for the water consumption and water waste generation, the water is used only for the cleaning purpose of solar PV models to remove dust from it. The discharge water does not include the chemical or hazardous material. Water runoff discharge from the panel is likely to get evaporated or absorbed into the arid ground below the panels, and no dry George Canal is required. As for the wastewater from the traders where the construction workers will be accommodated, it shall be collected and regularly transported off-site and for appropriate treatment and disposal. Wastes will be collected and separated for appropriate disposal too. There may be a security building with a kitchen on site. If so, all kitchen waste will be either transported offsite for appropriate treatment or else a fit for purpose water treatment plant will be built. As for climate, the climate of region is an continental climate with a broad temperature range between winter and summer. This region has cold winters and hot summers, and most of its rains fall during the summer. It is generally a region of high atmospheric pressure. As for temperature, the temperature changes radically throughout the year. Coldest temperature of the year are measured in December, January, and February. The average temperature is determined between minus 13.3 and 18.1. Some reach to minus 30 and 33, but from time to time it can reach minus 36 and 40. The cold season of the year starts from the 20th of September and lasts until the mid-May of the next year. The warm season of the year starts accordingly in May, and air temperature can reach to 20, but sometimes 30 and higher. Total number of such warm days in a year can reach between 30 to 39 days. The annual average temperature falls into the range between 2.8 and 6.8. And for precipitation, in regard of the precipitation, Mongolia province, where the project is located, belongs to the area with low humidity. The average precipitation in July is measured by 40 to 60 millimeters, whereas in October it reached to only 5 millimeters, and during the winter in March the air 45 humidity is about 50 to 60%. It rains approximately 30 days of the year. The average volume of the precipitation are recorded at 100 millimeters. In a year, there are approximately 112 cloud days and 40 cloudy days, whereas in the lower layer of the stratosphere, approximately 267 days were cloudless and three days were cloudy. It snows occasionally from October until April, around 2 days per month. The average snow layer thickness reached only 1 to 2 centimeters, while the thickest snow layers can reach up to 14 centimeters. For wind, it is constantly wind throughout the year, and according to data and record of the weather observations station of Sainshand city, the wind direction comes mostly from the north and northwest, less from the west and southwest. The wind speed can reach in January, April, and October 2 to 8 miles centimeter second per second. The lowest wind speed is measured by July and reached to 2 miles per second. There are 20 and 30 days in a year with a wind speed of over 15 miles per second and over 10 days in a year with black blizzard and dust storm. In average, there are 13 to 20 days in a year without any wind. The strongest winds are measured mostly during spring, whereas the lowest winds are occurring only during the summertime. The wind speed can reach 4.2 to 4.3 miles per second. The average wind speed reached accordingly 444 miles per second. And the air quality is currently there is no major air pollution before the implementation of the solar PV power plant project. The solar irradiation, the solar power is one of the major and crucial factors in the formation of the atmosphere. Third flow from the atmosphere like land concave and convex in the formations of the weather in any region. Furthermore, transformation of the solar light into heat energy has enormous impact on the soil color, texture, plant heat, density, porosity, and snow layer. In the particular area of the sunshine in average during 3,338 hours of the year. During the winter season, the sunshine is during 256 hours, whereas during the summertime, the sunshine longer during 309 hours. The total volume of the average annual radiation in the particular province is equal to 40, 434.5. In regard of geographical location, the solar PV power plant is situated at coordinated 44.9 north 110.1 is stand at 940 meters above the sea level. The selected project area cloudless during 257 days throughout of the year. Horizontal sun ray shielding the Earth's surface is one of the most important factors of the solar PV power plant. Total volume of the solar radiation determines also the capacity and other technical specifications and installed technical equipment and appliances. Annual total volume of the solar radiation per field until is 1,638 kilometers per hour, whereas diffused solar radiation per field unity is equals to 516. For the state section, the project set in Sainshand is on an altitude of 940 miles above sea level and has a relatively areas through slightly oriented towards northwest. The landscape shows very scarce and low vegetation. Besides, the location has an advantage of having great accessibility to the abroad, as there is a railroad nearby connecting Mongolia with China, offering an ideal opportunities for transport of all relevant components of PV power plant. Sonar device will put to connect data on solar conditions and the distance of to substance was also weighed as a key element. The other states that were considered include 8 cities. So according to this diagram, overall the project selection process was based on a 10 years long research made by professors at Mongolia National University starting from 2005 and also taking into account the careful soil research made by German experts at the site. Having put everything into consideration, Sainshand was chosen as the site where the 30 solar project is going to be implemented. So we talk about the analyze of alternatives. Going forward with purpose project alternative is considered the best possible option as opposed to no project, since the proposed project is considered a green and environmental solution for energy generation in Mongolia. Solar energy is considered as renewable clean technology with no emissions and as a global and local trend for energy generation. As for the electricity source alternatives, as energy demand has risen in past years, Mongolia has faced several energy shortage and blackouts. The International Monetary Fund project a deficit of over 600 by 2016. As all above, the increasing demand forced the governments to find additional energy resources, and the resources could be conventional and renewable resources. The use of the solar energy is one of the preferable options with less impact than the conventional resources. Furthermore, it is considered as a green option for Mongolia with its high sunshine days and land availabilities. In the following, the main reason to use solar energy instead of conventional resources are made summarized. First, solar power is pollution-free during operation. Second, production and wastes and emissions are manageable using existing pollution controls. Third, end-of-use recycling technologies are under development and policies are being produced that encourage recycling from producers. Fourth, PV installation can operate for 100 years or even more with little maintenance or intervention after the initial setup. Fifth, compared to fossil and nuclear energy source, very little research money have been invested in the development of solar cells, so there's considerable room for the improvement. And for environmental and social management plan, this environmental and social management plan aims at ensure the application of the mitigation and monitoring measure needs to reduce and control the various environmental and social impacts associated with the implementation of the proposed project. First, minimizing any adverse environmental, social, and health impacts resulting from the project activities. Second, conducting all project activities in accordance with re- relevant Mongolia legislation and applicable environment EBRD guidelines. Third, implementation of ongoing environmental monitoring programs. Fourth, review of the environmental management programs to allow for iterative improvement. Finally, to ensure that all stakeholder concerns are addressed. And depending on the nature of the project, the current plan was made for every 5 years, beginning from 2016. The plan shall be updated, reviewed, and approved every year by the Ministry of Environment and local authorities. Before the 5th of the 5th February of each year, the Environmental Protection Plan and Environmental Monitoring Program shall be updated as details, cost review, and approved as environmental assessment by the Ministry of Environment from revoking the Ministry of Project Implementation Plan every year. As were failed during the program performance report. That's all. Thank you.